Alibaba and the 40 Thieves.
There lived two brothers, Kasim and Alibaba. The elder brother, Kasim, was married to the daughter of a rich merchant, but Alibaba was a poor woodcutter. One day, Alibaba was chopping wood in the forest, when he saw a lot of dust rising at a distance. "They must be robbers. I must hide," said Alibaba to himself, and climbed up a nearby tree. Soon, Alibaba saw 40 men alighting from their horses. Then one robber, who seemed to be their leader, went towards a huge rock and cried, "Open sesame." The very next moment, the door in the rock opened. When all the robbers had gone inside, the door closed behind them. After some time, the robbers came out. Once again, the leader cried, "Shut sesame." The door closed and the robbers went away. When the robbers left, Alibaba went to the huge rock and cried, "Open sesame." And to his joy, the door opened. Alibaba stepped into the cave and was surprised to find heaps of gold, silver and precious jewels. He quickly stuffed his sacks with jewels and gold coins. He picked up as much treasure as his donkey could carry. Then, he came out and shouted, "Shut sesame." And the door in the rock closed. When Alibaba reached home, he thought that he should weigh the gold coins, so he borrowed scales from Kasim's wife. Kasim's wife was a clever woman. She thought, why would Alibaba need the scales? Being inquisitive, she put some wax under one of the scales, thinking that whatever Alibaba would weigh, would get stuck to the wax. After weighing the coins, when Alibaba returned the scales, he did not notice that a coin got stuck to the weighing scales. When Kasim's wife saw the gold coin, she rushed to her husband and said, "Your brother is now so rich that he doesn't count his money, he weighs it." Kasim was curious. He went to Alibaba and asked him about the gold coins. Alibaba told his brother everything about the cave. Kasim left for the cave immediately along with all his mules. On reaching the large rock, he said the magic words. The rock moved and he entered the cave. Using the magic words, he closed the door. Then, without wasting a moment, he started loading his mules with the treasure. In his excitement, his head got muddled up and he forgot the magic words to get out of the cave. In the meanwhile, the thieves returned. When the robbers saw the mules inside the cave, they pulled out their daggers. It didn't take them long to find Kasim. They killed him mercilessly. They chopped his body and hung it outside the cave. When Kasim did not return, his wife grew anxious. She went to Alibaba, shared her worries and asked him to help. Alibaba set out for the cave. He was horror-stricken and sad to see Kasim's body hanging outside the cave. Hurriedly, he put the body inside a bag and returned home. Alibaba told Kasim's slave Morgiana about Kasim's death and said, "Your master's death must be kept a secret. It should appear that he died a natural death." Morgiana was an intelligent young girl. She found an old cobbler. She gave him a gold coin, blindfolded him and made follow her. She took him to Alibaba's house where the old cobbler sewed up Kasim's body. When the robbers returned to the cave, they were shocked to see the body missing. "Someone else knows our secret too. We must find him," said their leader. Next day, one of the robbers came to the city disguised as a traveler. He met the same cobbler, told him who had sewed Kasim's body. While taking the cobbler told that he had sewn a dead body. The robber was glad to hear that and said, "Old man, take me to that house in return for 10 gold coins." The cobbler said that he would be able to do so if he was blindfolded. The robber did that and soon they were standing outside Alibaba's house. The robber marked the door with a cross and returned happily. Morgiana saw the robber marking the door with a cross. Smelling foul play, she marked every house on the street with a cross. The next day, the robber returned to Alibaba's house along with his leader. To their surprise, they saw that every house on that street was marked with a cross. The leader was very furious, and when they returned to the cave, he killed the robber. The next day, the leader went to town and identified Alibaba's house. Once his return, he ordered his men to buy 39 large barrels. One jar was filled with oil and the robbers hid themselves in the remaining jars. The leader, disguised as an oil merchant, came to the town. He stopped at Alibaba's house and said, "I am an oil merchant passing this way. I seek shelter for the night." Alibaba graciously welcomed him to his house. Later that evening, when Morgiana began cooking, she ran short of oil. Morgiana decided to take some from the merchant's barrels. She went to the yard where the barrels had been kept. But when she came near the first jar, she heard a voice ask, "Is it time, master?" Morgiana understood that their guest was no oil merchant, but they were all robbers, who had come to kill Alibaba. "Not yet," she whispered. Morgiana went around, till she came to the barrel with oil. She took oil from the barrel, in a container, and boiled it. Then, she poured the hot oil into every barrel, killing the robbers. Once the oil merchant was asleep, she plunged a dagger into his heart. They were the 40 thieves, master, she told Alibaba. Alibaba thanked her for saving his life and rewarded her by marrying her to his nephew, Kasim's son. While chopping wood one day, poor Alibaba's fortune changes when he stumbles upon a secret, a treasure cave with riches collected by a gang of 40 thieves. But how long can Alibaba keep the cave's existence a secret? What will happen when his rich, greedy brother finds out about the cave? What will happen when the gang of thieves find out that Alibaba has been stealing from them? Read about the famous Alibaba and his famed encounter with 40 thieves in this adventurous story full of twists and returns from the Arabian Nights. This colorful and cutely illustrated storybook brings to life some of the best scenes from this classic tale to life, turning story time into a wondrous experience for every young reader.